It is a Thursday morning, and we are taking care of business. Joining us this morning is Deb Eckelberger from the Titusville Community Development Agencies. Good morning, Deb. Good to see you.
Good morning, Luke and Mark. How are you today?
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, who'd you bring in this morning?
Today we have with us Ron Snyder, and he is leading the Oil Region Cycling Classic. That is a 3-day journey cyclist event over Father's Day weekend.
Oh, very nice.
The communities all in our region, the trail towns, are participating in. So we're here to talk about that today.
Good morning, Ron. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So how long have you been a cyclist?
Probably about 6 years now.
Really?
I basically got into cycling. I was always active physically, but after I had both my knees replaced, I needed to find an activity that my wife would let me do besides instead of running and playing basketball. So,
Boy, basketball does a number on the knees, doesn't it?
Yeah, really.
so my daughter had a boyfriend at the time that got her into cycling somewhat, and when she'd come home, we'd go for rides, and I got hooked on it. And when I guess kind of amusing, when my orthopedic surgeon was telling me what I could do after my first knee replacement, he said, "Well, you could ride a bike," and I said, "No, I don't like to ride bikes and that." And now my wife teases me, and she says, "I can't get you off the bloody things anymore."
Well, I'm not a runner. I hate running. I'll do other sports, right? But I'm not a runner. But what I've been doing probably for the past month, walking and running at night.
Really?
Yeah. And it's amazing what you sort of grow into, right? So for the past 6 years, I'm sure prior to this, you really didn't think of our area as maybe a good place to ride a bike. I'm sure you probably thought, oh, there's a lot of hills. There's, how are the roadways? Is there, paths for this sort of thing? But I'm sure as you began that hobby, you sort of discovered, wow, there's a lot going on with cycling.
There is. The trail system we have, I never really paid much attention to it before I started riding. But, once I did, I wanted to venture out, and I'd go on charity rides around the area, bicycling. And, you start talking to people, and, they say, "Oh, where are you from?" And I said, "Oh, I live in, Franklin, Venango County." And, they'd always go, "Oh, the trails up there are amazing. We just love going up there and riding." And it got me thinking, why can't we do something in our trails? Because, like I said, everybody loves to come here. Let's, promote our area. I rode the Gap, the Great Allegheny Passage. I've ridden it twice. I rode from Pittsburgh to D.C. about 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
How was that?
You were only 2 years into riding and you did that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. How was that experience?
I loved it.
Was it a pretty solid straight shot, or did you come across some areas where maybe some communities needed some work to help bridge one trail with another? Well,
the Gap and the C&O, the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal,
yeah,
they meet in Cumberland, Maryland. So you can ride from Pittsburgh to D.C. and pretty much stay on trail the entire distance.
Wow.
I did it in 6 days. My oldest daughter went with me, my sister-in-law, and my wife was kind of our support vehicle. She drove the car and would meet us, at lunch and other places we wanted to meet up with her. We did it in 6 days. So it's 354 miles of what I had when I got done. So almost 60 miles a day average.
Wow.
That's incredible.
It was. I want to do it again. I can't wait to.
I'm sure it'd be a beautiful ride.
It is. I mean, the scenery and what you get to see is it's amazing.
So, Deb, talking about that connection, what's missing? Because we know what the component was, Erie to Washington.
Right. It's Erie to Pittsburgh is what
Erie
we're
to
part
Pittsburgh.
of, and we're part of that trail corridor and part of a greater group now that's called the Industrial Heartlands Trail Group, where they want 1,400 miles of trails to someday be multi-purpose trails that would be all off-road to connect with communities in New York, Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. So we're part of that corridor, and it's a work in process. I think it took 30 years for the Gap to get completed, so it takes a long time. But for us, it connects the communities. So here, this event will connect the businesses in Titusville, in Oil City, in Franklin, and in Emlenton, and help people experience the character of each community and give the cyclists that are participating that weekend an opportunity to learn about us and hopefully come back.
And this is a local way to get acquainted with the trails and cycling as well. And I imagine probably the best advice would be to start off in small increments, which means that the trails around here in bits and pieces, say from Titusville to Oil City, say from Oil City to Franklin, would be great places to train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ron, for you, it has to be pretty exciting to know that as you gain this passion for cycling, that this is a much larger conversation than what you're having with you and your daughter, you and your wife, or you and your doctor, that this is a big thing that this region is trying to really emphasize.
Yeah, it is. I've been thinking about this for a few years now. Why can't we do something here in Venango County with our trail system that places do otherwise? And I kind of came across, I ride with a group out of Akron, Ohio sometimes, and they're always talking about the Greene County Classic, which is around Dayton. And it's a 4-day event down there where you're in a centralized location, and each day you ride a different trail. And I'm thinking, well, we've got that here, with what we have, with Emlenton, with the Allegheny River Trail going south to Emlenton. You can go north of Justice Trail to Oil City, and then get on the Oil Creek State Park Trail and then the Queen City Trail here to Titusville. So why, I thought about it, why can't we do this? And then when Franklin was working on their bike pedestrian plan, I got to talking to the consultant, and I mentioned my idea of having a bike ride here. He liked the idea, so I talked to Tracy Jameson, the city manager in Franklin, and eventually I got to Ronnie Beath. And once I talked to Ronnie, it just seemed like the dam broke open, and she was enthusiastic. She said
she is. She's just wonderful.
Yeah. She said, I've been looking for somebody to do something like this because Franklin is a bicycle-friendly community, and we formed a small committee just to see where it would go. I went and talked to the Allegheny Valley Trails Association because I wanted this to be a fundraiser for them, and I got their permission to do this. They were very enthusiastic about it, and my dream was this not a one-time deal. I want this to be an annual event where we do raise money for the Trail Association, because pretty much it's all volunteer work, and any funds they use to maintain the trail has to be raised by them.
And that could be a full-time job in itself, just keeping these trails.
Yeah,
it is.
It is, yeah.
So is this something you're tackling by yourself, or are you getting, you mentioned some names, but are people coming to you saying, hey, what can we do to help? Or is there a committee that's going to be formed? Or are you doing this on the dining room table?
Well, it started on dining room table, but no, it's been amazing. Once Ronnie got involved and we started approaching people, I wanted to have cyclists involved in the committee too, because their experiences and input, I just didn't want, communities to have, I want to say, the say in what we did, but the realm of experiences that, we've collected when we go to the meetings, it's amazing the intercourse we have between each other, because everybody's got ideas. We have the Titusville development, we have the chambers of commerce, Venango, Franklin, Titusville. It's
business
quite amazing.
Owners.
Yeah.
It's a good mix, and I remember you keep saying that it's amazing how it all just came together and everybody worked together and no parochialness about it.
Wow.
So that's a wonderful thing.
That's
that
fantastic.
Businesses in Emlenton know about businesses in Titusville and vice versa, and they're meeting and talking to each other and working together to make it a nice event for the participants that live
I imagine
here.
this is going to be a very well-attended event, too.
Well, hold on to that thought. Ron, real quick, the dates of the event.
The dates, it's Father's Day weekend,
Okay.
June 16th to the 18th. We first ride will be Friday. We'll ride from Franklin to Emlenton and back. Saturday will be Franklin to Titusville and back. And then Sunday, be Franklin down to the Sandy Creek Trail, and then they can go to Van or Fisherman's Cove on the trail.
Wow.
We do have some options involved on Saturday. You know, we're going to work in conjunction with the Oil Creek and Titusville Railroad, where people can cycle to Titusville and then ride the train back towards Oil City, an experience that a lot of people have never had before. And then on Sunday,
Which is very bike friendly, by the way.
Yes.
It is,
All
yeah.
right, and we'll continue this in 1 second. 8:21 is our time. This is the Morning Drill on Stream Television, Armstrong, and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. Okay.
Okay, I was going to say it's probably going to be a very well-attended event, but I also wanted to say that I've done the bike train thing, and that's an awful lot of fun. It really is a great way to spend an afternoon.
Or for families to spend an afternoon if
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
loved ones
because
are
this
out
could
riding.
be anybody. It could be parents and little children. They don't have to go the full ride. They can do a portion of it. It's whatever experience they want to make it be. So that's the uniqueness part of it. You know, they can make it be their own ride, and we're here to help make it good for them, wherever they go.
This seems like a perfect fit, Deb, because there's a lot of attention with running. You've got the Drakewell Marathon and the OC 100, and those big events. You've got folks getting interested in kayaking and using the waterways, and trails it's just been a big part of the discussion in promoting the region for the last number of years. So cycling just makes sense for it to fit in with everything else that's going on.
All our natural resources we're taking advantage of, and we're so lucky to have them here. Yes.
What's been the biggest surprise for you, Ron, in this whole in the 6 years you've been cycling and getting this event underway?
the biggest surprise is the cooperation I'm receiving. Like Deb said, the parochialness. I just was worried about the rivalries between the towns and that. Would they want to work together? And I haven't seen anything that shows that. I mean, everybody's working well together. I mean, the ideas we come up with, it's not, Franklin, Titusville, Oil City, I want. It's what can we do to make this a great ride to bring people into the area? Everybody sees that, and, we want to promote our area. So, I mean, that's what amazes me the most. And, I go home after our meetings and I talk to my wife, and, I just tell her how energized I am because of, what I hear at the meetings. It's amazing.
Well, Deb, when Ron was talking about riding to D.C. and, stopping off for lunch, here, or, you take those breaks, that's got to be a great thing for businesses to hear that. Oh, yeah. Now it's making sense. People are using the trails. They're going to stop off, and they need a place to eat, or maybe they need a place to spend the night. Whether you're in Titusville, Emlenton, Franklin, Oil City, if you all work together and promote this, then it works best for everybody.
Yeah, a few years ago with Frank Hyduk, who is another journey cyclist and a great volunteer in our community, we put together a group that met for about a year, and that's what we did. I think it was every other month. We went to a business in Franklin that was bicycle friendly, and we learned about their business and had a meeting with everybody from the communities that were involved in that, in the trail towns is what we call them. And then we might go to Oil City and do the same thing. We did the museum in Oil City. We came here and went to Warner's Bakery and went over to Deb Brown's Primitive Sentiment. We went to Emlenton to the Crawford Center. They got to learn about each other. So this is a growth of that as well, because now the B&B in Emlenton knows about the B&B in Titusville, and if they're sharing that experience and they're sharing information, it just makes it better for those that are coming here and growing on that tourism piece that we have here.
Ron, when we talk about Drakewell Marathon or the OC 100, you get people from all over the country, all over the world who come and take part in that. And one of the things you hear is, oh, this is the most beautiful trail we've ever been on, or you guys are so fortunate to have what you have, the resources here. Do you kind of get that sense with what you're trying to do? Do you have a feeling that come Father's Day weekend, folks are going to come into this area and say, wow, you guys are very lucky to have this?
I do. We're just really just starting the marketing. We've got a website, Facebook page, and Twitter. But I sent out emails to, there's a meetup.com where groups are formed that have same interests. So I looked up the ones of cycling in the area, and I sent basically our press release to them, inviting them to the ride, and I'm seeing positive results out of that. I just got one this morning before I came up here. I got an email where the guy's stating he's never ridden up here before, but he's coming. You know, he and his wife are both coming up, and he's inviting everybody in his group, Bicycling Pittsburgh, to you know, come up as well. So, I mean, people, you know, like I said, you know, I've never been there, but, you know, I want to come. You know, I've seen likes on our Facebook. You know, I'll look up the people, and I'll see where they're from. So somebody from Oklahoma.
Cool.
You know, how do we get out to Oklahoma? I mean, somebody may have told them about it and referred them. So, I mean, the interest is out there. And I think, you know, once we get better known, I think it's going to be great for the area.
So what's the best way for somebody to contact you to say, hey, we want to be there and do this?
The best way, they could reach us out on Facebook. It's Oil Region Cycling Classic, I believe. The website's oilregioncycling.com. They can contact us through there. They can contact the Franklin Chamber of Commerce. They call them. They'll get in touch with me. If they go to the website and send an email, it comes to me and I'll respond.
Deb, for you, what should businesses be doing to prepare for events like this?
We're almost at that stage, and he's creating some flyers for us.
Okay.
So as soon as the flyers are made, I'm going to go around to the businesses downtown and let them know what's going on that weekend so that they know there'll be additional people in the communities. We're going to have a welcome booth at Jersey Bridge with a sign that says welcome to Titusville and light refreshments. And then they'll be given a welcome packet for Titusville as well. They'll be able to tour the Tarbell House that day for free. Where I talked with Ashley from the Titusville Council on the Arts, so we can have someplace yet to be determined, maybe a little bit of acoustic music for them, so they can take a break, get a little music. At the train station, it's Father's Day weekend, so they have a big train display set up inside and all kinds of vendors there. So there'll be unique opportunities for them. By the time they get here, it's going to be lunchtime. So I want to make sure we focus on the restaurants and get them to go to our different restaurants. And if they put that flyer in their window, they'll know that it's a place that is aware of them and welcomes them and just is a way to get them to come here. Yeah.
So, Ron, if a business is watching or listening and they want to be a part of this, they can reach out to you?
Yes, they can go to, like I said, reach out to me, go through our website or Facebook and say, you know, I want to be interested or be a sponsor. We do have several. Our grand sponsor is the Franklin Elks Club. They came on board. We're sharing a similar mission. With the registration, what we've decided to do is any veterans that want to register and ride, we're giving them a 25% discount on their registration.
Oh, nice.
And for families, children 13 and under are free. And say you have, you know, a spouse or significant other that doesn't ride, but, you know, you do, there's no cost for them to come along.
Well, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of activities for family members who might not be riding. There's a lot of things to do and check out in our region.
Absolutely.
So. Well done, Ron. Best of luck with everything. That's Father's Day weekend. That'll be here before you know it. Yeah. So good luck with it. And please come back and keep us updated on what's going on.
Thank you.
We'd love to help you promote the event.
Thank you very much.
All right, Deb, always great seeing you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Glad you're back.
You find the greatest people.
I tell you, I have the greatest job. That's the best part about this. I can share it with everybody.
Now we have to go from this great interview to Christopher Soff. Yeah.
Well, he's one of our leaders, so we're happy
Fresh
to have
off
him.
a 3-month suspension on this program, Crawford County Commissioner Christopher Soff joins us next. We got to look at news and that weather forecast coming up first.
I'm self-employed. I love to work at nothing.